Good morning, friends who have joined us. We're going to wait about a minute. Right now you are looking at a vinegaroon, also called a whip scorpion. All right, we're gonna get started. Let me get this turned around here. Good morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you are watching this. My name is Jenny Mitchell, and I run the insect zoo at Iowa State University, and I'm also an entomologist. What is an entomologist, my friends? An entomologist is a scientist who studies bugs. But as an entomologist, we don't only study bugs. We are lucky enough to get to study the largest group of animals on Earth called arthropods. What is an arthropod? An arthropod is an animal just like we are animals, but we are much different than arthropods. Arthropods are animals that have exoskeletons, so skeletons on the outside of the body. An exoskeleton is a skeleton on the outside of the body. So what animals have exoskeletons and are arthropods? Those are insects, spiders, tarantulas, millipedes, centipedes, scorpions, shrimp, crabs, and lobsters. So even some of the animals we like to eat, they're very closely related to insects, and they're all made of the same stuff. So when you're eating shrimp, it's just like eating crickets or cockroaches or flies. They are all made of the same stuff. Now, today, my friends, I have brought a bunch of animals in here that I am going to share with you. So this program is what we usually do in schools. So right now, actually, yes, right now I would be out of school. In fact, I think I deleted it from my calendar, but I would be out of school right now teaching kids in person, doing this very program with them. This is our hands-on program. And so it shows a variety of animals, and that's what we are going to do today. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to get our camera turned down onto our rug. We sometimes call this bugs on rugs. It's actually, right now, it's just a piece of paper, but we could pretend it's a rug, right? So I'm gonna get this down and we are gonna start our program. All right, so first of all, oh, wait a minute. Here, let's do this. We're gonna keep talking just for a second. Okay, so how many of you guys like butterflies? You can virtually raise your hand if you like butterflies. I like butterflies. They're super cool. So I can't see you raise your hand, but I assume that most of you like butterflies. I love butterflies. They're super pretty because they fly around with those beautiful wings. They land on the flowers and they drink something from that flower. What are they drinking from the flower? Nectar. Nectar is their food source. It gives them energy, and it's super important for them. So they land on that flower and they drink the sweet nectar. And while they're doing that, they're also picking something up on their body. What are they picking up on their fuzzy little bodies? Does anybody know? Pollen. Pollen and nectar are two things that flowers make. So while that butterfly is drinking that sweet nectar, it's also picking up pollen on its body. So now it goes to a new flower and it drinks some more sweet nectar and it drops the pollen off of its body. What is that called? When pollen is moved from one flower to another flower, it is called pollination. Pollination is very important, and butterflies are pollinators. Pollination is how a plant makes its seed so that it can disperse or go somewhere else to grow more plants. Pollination is very important. So butterflies are a pollinator. Now I have another pollinator. Do you want to meet this pollinator? Do you? Okay, because I'm going to show you. So now I'm going to turn my camera around. I'm going to put it right down here. And I'm going to get out my pollinator. What do you think this pollinator is called? What do you think this pollinator is called? Ta-da! You probably said a bee. You probably thought that I was going to bring out a bee, but this is not a bee. In fact, this is a beetle. This is a giant stag beetle. Now, my friends, beetles are very important pollinators. Can you believe that? Some plants can only be pollinated by beetles. And did you know there are more beetles on our planet than pretty much any other type of animal? So there are a lot of beetles. There are even more beetles than there are butterflies, and there are more beetles than there are bees and wasps. So this beetle right here, giant stag beetle, these are found in Asia. And look at those giant mandibles. You see these pinchers up here? Whoa, they are so big and they pinch. Doesn't it look like he could just like rip into some animal and gobble up their flesh? That is not what they do with those. What do you think they use those big, huge mandibles for? What if I told you that only the males have those mandibles? The females do not have these big pinchers. Only the males. What do you think he does with them? Well, he wrestles with other males. He tries to get a girlfriend, and the only way he can get a girlfriend is if he wrestles with the males in the neighborhood. So whoever is strongest gets all of the ladies. And he takes them out for some fruit and nectar, which is what they eat. These guys eat fruit and nectar. Where does nectar come from? Flowers. What else does flowers make? Pollen. So when this guy is collecting nectar from those flowers, he is also picking up pollen on his fuzzy little body. And if he lets me turn him around a little bit, you can see he's got hair or setae all over his body. You see that orange stuff? And also on his mouth. Check out his mouth. Now his mouth is actually like a paintbrush. It's an orange little paintbrush. And it's right here. I'm going to try not to get pinched. It's right there. Orange little fuzzy paintbrush. And he just uses that to slurp up the nectar. And then he also picks up pollen. Because right below that, it looks like he's got a beard. He's got an orange beard under there. And that picks up that pollen. And he moves it to a new flower. Now check out these eyes over here. Whoa, whoa, look at that eye. Isn't that cool? Can you see the eye? Very cool eye. All right. So now, my friends, let's go back to that butterfly. You remember the butterflies that we all love? So was that butterfly always a butterfly? No. What was the butterfly before it was a butterfly? Some might say caterpillar, but what was it before it was a caterpillar? An egg. Butterflies start their life off as an egg, and so do most insects. So do you think that this beetle started his life off as an egg? Yes, he did. It was a much bigger egg than a butterfly's egg, but this beetle started his life off as an egg. Now, what comes out of a butterfly's egg? Does anyone know? A caterpillar. But do you know there's another name for a caterpillar? It starts with an L. It is a larva. Now, you can call it a caterpillar if you'd like, but we're going to call it a larva because that's the technical name for it. So far we've had an egg and then a larva for a butterfly. What do you think hatches out of this guy's egg? Do you want to see what hatches out of this guy's egg? Because I've got one. I've got one right over here. Let me just dump out my stuff here. Bam! Look at that. This is what hatches out of this guy's egg. Now let me just blow him off a little. Check out this little guy. Isn't he so cute? This is a larva that hatched out of an egg from these beetles. Now, you can also call it a grub, and you may find grubs like this in your own garden. Now, some of those grubs that you find in your garden might be a pest. A pest is an animal that causes harm to another living thing, like plants. So some grubs eat the roots of plants. This guy right here, he does not eat the roots of plants. This is a good grub. He eats dead, rotting wood. That's where he spends his life, is in dead, rotting wood, and he eats that dead, rotting wood. So good for him. But you know what? Why would he eat dead, rotting wood? And why is it good for him? Well, because, my friends, when a tree dies, there's good stuff trapped inside of it. All sorts of nutrients, minerals. And animals like this larva in my hand, they eat that dead, rotting wood, and they use those nutrients and minerals to grow big and strong and beautiful. Isn't he beautiful? You can say yes. It makes him feel good. But now, there are some nutrients and minerals that are left over. There are nutrients and minerals that he cannot use for himself. So what should he do with those? Well, I think he should share them. But first, they have to work their way through his body. And if you look at his body, you can see through it. And do you see this really dark area back here? See how dark that is? This is what I call the good poop factory. Yeah. Good poop factory. What do you think is made in the good poop factory? Poop. He makes poop in the good poop factory. What kind of poop? Good poop. Who's it good for? Is it good for you? Should you eat good poop? No, do not eat poop. It's bad for you. So who is it good for, my friends? It is good for the earth. The plants and the trees, they need those nutrients and minerals that were trapped inside of that dead, rotting tree. And animals like this, which we call decomposers, they unlock those nutrients and minerals and they give them to the world. We just call it poop, bug poop. But my friends, bug poop is not actually called poop. it is actually called frass. So frass is good poop for the earth. Now, my friends, do you remember that butterfly we were talking about? You remember it? We love it so much. So that butterfly, right now it's a caterpillar or a larva, just like this guy is a larva or a grub. So then what happens to that caterpillar or the larva? What happens to it? It makes a chrysalis. Guess what? There's another word for chrysalis. Does anybody know what it is? It also starts with a C. It is a cocoon. So we have a chrysalis and a cocoon. Guess what? There's still one more word for this. Does anybody know what it is? Starts with a P. It is a pupa. A pupa. I'm going to put that word right here. So we have chrysalis, cocoon, and pupa. My friends, do you notice how I put these words on different hands? That's because they're different. The pupa over here by itself, this is the insect. So is this guy. He's not a pupa yet. But the pupa is the insect. Now the chrysalis and the cocoon is like a bug sleeping bag. That's what I call it. It is something that the insect makes to wrap around its body to protect it, keep it warm, and keep it dry. Well, what's happening inside of the pupa? Is it sleeping? No, it is changing into a butterfly or an adult, or this guy is going to change into a stag beetle. So, my friends, did you see that? We had 4 changes. An egg, a larva, a pupa, and an adult. What is this called? It's called a life cycle or metamorphosis. Metamorphosis means big change. So each time the insect grows, it goes through a big change. Egg, larva, pupa, adult, a complete metamorphosis or a completely big change. So butterflies, moths, ants, bees, wasps, ants, and beetles all go through a complete metamorphosis or a complete change. So say bye to our little grub there. I'm going to put it back in his little enclosure. Then we're going to look at a really giant grub because it's really big and I want to show it to you. Check out this big grub. Look how big he is. So this guy's going to turn into a Dynasties Hercules beetle. Very, very large beetle. So grubs come in all different sizes. Pretty cool, huh? Now we're going to look at something that is a larva, another larva. And you guys may have seen these before. So you know what this is? It's a mealworm. Mealworms are larvae. Now, our first job is to figure out, is this mealworm an insect? Do you think this mealworm is an insect? How do we find out if something is an insect? We count the legs. So my friends, let's count the legs. So if I flip him over, and don't worry, I am not hurting him. So if you flip him over, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs. So is this an insect? Yes, it is. Now, so mealworms are an insect, and these guys have 2 behaviors that I want to show you. Do you want to see his behaviors? They're good behaviors. They're not bad behaviors. Don't worry. I'm going to show you. So first behavior, when I go like this, what direction does he walk? What direction is he walking? Backwards. Isn't that cool? Now also, do you notice what color is his head? Brown or black? And what color is the end of his abdomen? brown or black. Are they a similar color? Yes, his head is the same color as the end of his abdomen. And look at him walk backwards. Now watch his second behavior. If I try to pick him up by his head, whoa, what does he do? Look at him. Whoa, whoop, whoop. He's crazy. Look at him. What does he do? He flips around. Look at that. Super fast. So now, my friends, I have a question for you. Why do you think his head is the same color as the end of the abdomen? And how come he's able to walk backwards? Now, I know that walking backwards might sound lame, but did you know that most insects cannot walk backwards? So that means it is an adaptation. It is a special behavior that he gets to do. So then why is it he would want to have a head that's the same color as the end of the abdomen? And how come he can walk backwards and most insects cannot? What do you think? Well, he's pretending to have two heads. So this animal pretends to have two heads so that he can fake out those predators. So if something's trying to eat him, they're going to go for his head. And they're confused. They don't know which end is the head. But if the predator picks this mealworm up by his head, what is he going to do? He's going to flip over really fast like a ninja. Do you think he's a real ninja? I don't know. I mean, they do get to spend a lot of time alone. Maybe they are ninja training. Who knows? But either way, this mealworm has very strong muscles in his abdomen, and he uses those muscles to flip his body around really fast if something picks him up by his head. So those are the ways that he tries to protect himself. He is able to walk backwards, he pretends to have two heads, and he has strong muscles that he can use to flip around his body if something picks him up by his head. Now, this is an egg, a larva, a pupa, or an adult. What do you think? A larva. Is it going to turn into a pupa? Yes, it is, because it's a beetle, and beetles go through complete metamorphosis. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. Do you want to see the adult of this mealworm? I have one right here. And it is a darkling beetle. Check out that beetle. Isn't it pretty cool? Why do you think we call it a darkling beetle? Because it's dark. Entomologists are so clever, aren't we? Yes. It also likes dark places. Now, we are going to look at the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Those are the three body parts of an insect. Head, thorax, abdomen. We're going to look at those up close, and we're going to talk about what is on those three body parts. So if we first look at his head, what can we see? Well, first thing I see are these. These are antennae. He has two antennae. Antennae is plural, more than one. Antenna is singular, just one. What else do we see? How about these things? Do you see these little round balls? They're black, so they're kind of hard to see, but he has two of them, one there and one over here. Those are eyes. Compound eyes. Compound eyes are a bunch of little tiny eyes all put together, and that's what they use to see images. Insects can also have another type of eye called a simple eye. A simple eye only sees light and dark. It cannot see images. Now, insects can either have only compound eyes, like this beetle, only simple eyes, or both compound and simple eyes at the same time. How cool is that? Now, so far we've seen antenna, eyes, and one more thing. What about this right here? Whoops, off the screen. What about that? That is a mouth. So on an insect's head, they have antennae, eyes, and a mouth. Now, if I turn the beetle over like this, and I put my thumbs right here. Do you see that space between my thumbs? And don't worry, I'm not hurting our beetle friend. You see that space there? Do you see how all 6 legs are there? Do you think that's the thorax or the abdomen? It is the thorax. And we know it's the thorax because all 6 legs are always on the thorax. So this part back here with no legs is his what? Abdomen. Very good. Now, let me see if I can find my other beetle. I thought I got 2 of them in here. Because that beetle's not doing what I want it to do. Get out another one. Nope, you're not going to do it either. Let's try you. Oh, there we go. Now, check these out. Let's see. You do it. There you go. Come on, do it again. Do you see those little things? Let's see if I can get him to do it again. Come on. Come on. You see those little things coming out of the end of his abdomen? There they go. Yeah, those are called scent glands. And if you were here with me right now, I would have you smell this beetle. I'm going to smell it. Woo! It is stinky. Why would this beetle want to stink? So he does not get eaten for dinner. These guys smell bad so that animals will not eat them. Do you like to smell things or eat things that smell bad? Unless if it's some stinky cheese, I'm going to have to say no thanks. All right, let's put this beetle away. And then, my friends, let's recap. What did we find on our beetle's head? Can you remind me? We found antennae, eyes, and a mouth. Did we find a nose? Did we find a nose on our beetle's head? No nose. How's he gonna smell if he doesn't have a nose? He smells from his antennae. But now, if he doesn't have a nose, how is he going to breathe? You might be thinking, his mouth? Or his antennae? Or his eyes? Well, do you guys want to watch an insect breathing? Because I have one here that loves teaching kids how insects breathe. Check it out. This is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. These guys come from Madagascar where they live along the forest floor. And do you know what they eat? Dead, rotting stuff. So that means, whoops, hello friend, come here. That means they are a decomposer. Just like the beetle grubs that we looked at. So these guys make good poop for the earth. Now they only come from Madagascar, which is a small island off the coast of Africa. And there are many, many species there of hissing cockroaches, and all of them hiss. But first, before we do the hiss, I want to talk about his body, because he also has a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, but his head is hidden. Do you see his head? Do you think this is his head? It's not. If I turn him over, there is his head under his body. So his head is hidden under this hard plate. It's like a bicycle helmet, so that when he rides his bicycle, he doesn't hurt his head. Whoops. I'm just kidding. This guy does not ride a bicycle, but that would be fun if he did. So his head is hidden under here to protect it from predators. And then look at these bumps. The males have those bumps, the females do not have them. And he uses those bumps to make him look bigger and scarier, because they look like big eyes, don't they? Okay, so now he's ready to hiss. So my friends, that is the head, this is the thorax, and back here is the abdomen. Now watch this abdomen while he hisses. Ready? Can you see how the abdomen is pumping? See it pumping? Pumps like this. It's like squeezing. You see that? Now you might also see these little guys crawling around on him. Those are mites that help to keep him clean. They live on his body because he doesn't take a shower. Now, do you also notice he's got these black dots? You see those black dots on the abdomen? Well, inside those black dots are teeny tiny holes called spiracles. What do you think those spiracles are used for? Breathing and hissing. So insects breathe through teeny tiny holes on their abdomen, which we called spiracles. That is pretty cool. Now, why do you think this guy hisses? Why would he hiss? Because does he hiss every time he breathes? No, he does not. So why would he hiss in nature? Any guesses? He is still hissing, by the way. So this guy hisses in nature to scare away predators. But how is a hissing sound going to scare away a predator? Well, when an animal hisses, it sounds like another animal. What kind of animal does it sound like? A snake. So perhaps our hissing cockroach is pretending to sound like a snake to protect himself from a predator. What do we call that? When an animal pretends to be another animal to protect itself from a predator, don't we have a name for that? It starts with an M. It is a mimic. A mimic is an animal that pretends to be another animal to protect itself from a predator. So our cockroach is a mimic of a snake. I have another mimic. Do you guys want to see it? I hope so. This is called a whip scorpion. Now, it's not a real scorpion. If you look closely, my friends, you will notice that on the tail there is no stinger. No stinger means no venom. This animal cannot sting you. So how does it protect itself if it has no stinger? Let's look at the pinchers, should we? Because some scorpions protect themselves with their pinchers. So here are the pinchers. Look how small they are. Not only are they small, but they also close funny. They close like this. Real scorpions' pinchers close like scissors, like all the way. Look at his poor, small, little pinchers. So all he uses those for, he can't even pinch me. All he uses those for is for picking up insects to eat them, move them into his mouth so he can gobble them up. And he has no stinger. No stinger. So how's this whip scorpion going to protect himself from predators? He has no stinger and his pinchers are small and they close funny. Poor guy. He pretends to look like a scorpion. He is a mimic. Remember, a mimic is an animal that will pretend to be another animal to protect himself from a predator. So he is a mimic. So, do you guys want to see a real scorpion? Do you? Oh, hey, you know what? If mimicry doesn't work for this guy, he does have another way of protecting himself. So do you remember our beetle that smelled really bad? This guy also will smell bad. And they have another name, a vinegaroon. Vinegaroon because vinegar, these guys secrete acetic acid, which is just vinegar, but it's really, really strong. So like white vinegar is about 5% acetic acid, 3 to 5%. These guys secrete 85% acetic acid. So if you've ever dyed Easter eggs, you know that smell when you're dyeing them? That is the smell of vinegar. So these guys, it's way, way stronger. And these are native to Arizona. And every summer I get to go down and I get to collect these animals and I get to bring them back to the insect zoo to share them with the people of Iowa. So that's where this guy came from. And when I first collected him, he sprayed and sprayed and sprayed. In fact, one time I was sprayed in my mouth. It was horrible. All right, now do you guys want to see a real scorpion? I have a feeling that you do. Let's get out. Where are you? I found it. Check out this lady. This is a flat rock scorpion. These scorpions are native to Africa, and they're one of the largest scorpions that we know of. And if you notice, she has a really thin and long tail. And at the end of the tail, what is that at the end? Right there. Can you see that? That is a stinger. You see this bulb right here? That's where she stores her venom. And then the very, very tip of that is her stinger. It's like a needle. If you've ever gotten a shot and they put the needle into you, well, this part would be like what's holding the medicine they're putting into you. And then this stinger there is like the needle. So she injects venom into her prey to slow them down or to even kill them. Except this scorpion does not sting her prey. If this scorpion was to sting a cricket, that cricket could just hop away. Be like nothing happened. So how does she slow down or kill her prey if her venom is like nothing? You know what? I've been stung by this scorpion many times. It feels like I get poked with a sewing needle. It tingles for about 2 seconds and then it goes away. So how does she get her prey or protect herself if her venom is not very strong? Her pinchers. Look at these giant pinchers. They are so big. They are also so strong. So she will pinch. In fact, they're so strong that they could crush the exoskeleton of other arthropods and even break the bones of small animals like mice and lizards. That's how strong it is. And Allie, I just want to let you know that I know this one is a girl because this species of scorpion, the male's tail is longer. And for other scorpions, you sex them or tell if they're girls or boys by this. Look, she gave me a little love pinch. Did you guys see that? So she doesn't want to be upside down right now. Here, she'll settle down. Nope, settle down. Settle down. By this plate right here. So you can tell if they're male or female by this plate under their body. It's kind of difficult. Look, now she's taking a nap. See how cool that is? So scorpions, when they're on their back, they just kind of are like, meh, whatever. It's really awesome. Wake her back up. All right. Now, do you guys want to see how a scorpion attracts its prey? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so cool. But to do this, I have to turn off the lights. Are you ready for this? So I'm going to set my scorpion here. Don't go anywhere. Hey, I said don't go anywhere. Come back. There you go. Let's set that there. Oh, hang on, friends. I forgot to say something first. Okay, this stuff is important, okay? So I'm going to show you, but first I want to ask you, what color is this scorpion right now? It is brown or black. It is dark, right? So that's what you are seeing with your human eyes. But did you know that there are colors on our planet that we cannot see with our human eyes? Yes. Some of those colors are called ultraviolet colors. Now, guess who can see those ultraviolet colors? Insects. Insects can see ultraviolet colors. Super awesome, right? So when an insect looks at this scorpion, it's going to see a different color. So do you want to see that color? Now I'm going to show you. Check it out. So you are seeing what an insect sees when it looks at a scorpion. And this light I am shining on this scorpion is called a black light or a UV light, which stands for ultraviolet light. We humans use this light to see ultraviolet colors. So you are seeing what an insect sees when it looks at a scorpion. My light's going dead. But why? Why does it see this? Well, there's another living creature. It's not really a creature. Another living organism that also has this same ultraviolet color. And those are flowers. Who likes flowers? I do. I definitely like flowers, and so do insects. Flowers feed lots and lots of insects. And so flowers, they want the insects to come and drink their nectar. So they have these rings. A flower will have rings around it of ultraviolet color, like a bullseye. And so the insect sees that and knows, hey, there's nectar there in that flower, and it'll fly down. It's like a landing pad right in the middle, drink that nectar, pick up the pollen, and pollinate other flowers. So now this scorpion, my friends, it has the same ultraviolet color as a flower does. So an insect is going to see this scorpion and think, there's some nectar down there. I should go check it out. But is that insect going to get nectar? No, it's going to get eaten for dinner. So my friends, a scorpion is using the same plan or mechanism that a flower uses to attract its pollinators. The scorpion is using to attract its prey. Isn't that clever? It is so clever. I'm going to go turn back on my light. All right, human eyes again. Sadie says, is the compound of chitin in their exoskeleton that is UV active, right? It is not actually the chitin. It is in the chitin. Well, it's around the chitin. So chitin is what makes up the hardness of the exoskeleton. And so the ultraviolet is in the exoskeleton. So when this scorpion sheds or molts or sheds its exoskeleton to grow, that exoskeleton still will fluoresce under an ultraviolet light. Now come here, my friend. Okay, say goodbye to Morel, our beautiful flat rock scorpion. I'm going to put her back into her enclosure. Put her over into the bucket. All right. How about we check out another animal? Do you want to see another one? How about an animal that does not protect itself by mimicry? So our hissing cockroach and our whip scorpion protect themselves by mimicking or pretending to be another animal. Let's check out an animal that protects itself by camouflage. So this lady right here is an Australian spiny walking stick. And this gentleman is also an Australian spiny walking stick. How do I know this one is a boy and this one is the girl? Well, that's because the girls are bigger than the boys. Girl bugs rule the world, my friends. For most arthropods, it's the girls that are bigger and prettier and even live longer than the boys. But boy bugs are also very cool. Like this one here, he has wings and he can fly. That's right. She only has these little wing buds. She cannot fly with those. So these walking sticks are found in Australia. And they're in Australia. They feed on plants. Walking sticks are herbivores, plant feeders. So something cool is happening right now that I can see. I don't know if you can see it. You should be able to see it. Oh yeah, I can see it on my screen. Look right here. You see this? This is called an ovipositor. Now, this walking stick just drops its eggs from the ground. Some walking sticks have what look like a needle or a stinger on the end of their abdomen, and that they put down into the ground. They drill it down in the ground and lay their eggs underground. But this lady just drops them. So we're gonna look in there because she is about to lay an egg. She's about to drop an egg. Can you see that right there? That is her egg. Check that out. This is her egg. And all I have to do is just give it a little tap. And it fell out. Get it over here in my hand. So this is an egg of this walking stick. Look how tiny that is. And you notice, what does it look like? Doesn't it look like a seed? That is on purpose. So there is a species of ant in Australia that eats seeds. So they go around and they collect seeds from the ground and they bring them down underground into their burrow. And so they think that this is a seed. So the ants collect it and bring it down into the burrow or the hole in the ground that they live in. And now this seed or this egg isn't really a seed. So they kind of figure that out. They throw it over in their trash pile or even in their food pile. They might not figure that out yet. And there in the ant colony, it's the perfect place to incubate and protect this egg. So now what happens when it hatches though? Well, when this egg hatches, the little baby walking stick that comes out of it is going to look just like the ants. Yes, my friend, that is mimicry. So these baby walking sticks mimic an ant. And then now they also smell like the other ants. So they can walk up and out of the ant colony because they look like the ants and they smell like the ants because they were born there. And they can walk up and out of there and start living their life above ground. Isn't that awesome? So it's mimicry and it's a symbiotic relationship because these guys benefit from the protection of the ant. And I see we have a question here about what happened to her front leg. I am so glad you asked. So if you notice, she only has 5 legs. She's an insect, so how many legs should she have? 6. But one of her legs is missing. Now, walking sticks can do something pretty cool. They can drop their legs off on purpose. So if something is trying to eat them, they can just drop their leg off and keep going and be alive and not be eaten for dinner. And they have 5 more legs, so they're just fine. And now she's an adult, so she cannot grow her leg back. But if she was a nymph still growing, she could grow her leg back. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. So our little guy here was giving you a dance. So not only are they camouflaged as a dead leaf, but they also have a cryptic behavior, which means they act like what they look like. So he's swaying back and forth like a leaf would sway back and forth if I touched it or if the wind was blowing. And that is just to make him look more like a leaf and less like a tasty insect. Now again, if you were here with me, I would have you smell this walking stick. I'm gonna go ahead and smell it. Ooh, it smells good. It smells like butterscotch. But now there are some animals that think the butterscotch is stinky and they do not like the smell of it, so it scares them away. All right, how about another animal that is not an insect? How about we talk about millipedes? I love millipedes, and I have a millipede here that I want to share with you. Ooh, I should put her egg in there too. And now, when I take these back to the enclosure they live in, I will put that egg right into the soil, on top of the soil, and it will hatch. Check out this millipede. So millipedes are not an insect. Why are they not an insect? Well, first, they have way more than 6 legs. Shall we count them? Who wants to count them with me? Do you want to know a secret on how to count a millipede's legs? Well, I will share it with you. Do you see these rings on the body? Those rings are called segments. And for each segment, a millipede will have 4 legs. So to count the legs, you simply count the segments and multiply it by 4. So these millipedes can have over 240 legs. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. There are millipedes that have more legs. Like, I think the most is like 700 something. And they only have 2 body parts. So insects have 3, the head, thorax, abdomen. These have a head, and then the whole rest of the body is called the trunk. Millipedes are very important animals. They are decomposers, so they eat dead, rotting stuff, and they make vitamins for the earth. Very important. Now, millipedes also have an odor, and they let out a liquid, and sometimes if I rub the body, see if I can get, nope, I brought backups because our millipedes are held a lot, so a lot of them do not do this anymore. Rub the body. Nope, okay, I got one more. I mean, I have way more millipedes, so if this one doesn't do it. Come on, you want, I'm going to eat you. Maybe if I actually like put it in my mouth, it'll think I'm gonna eat it. Let's get another one. I'm gonna make you do this, I promise. Is the millipede staying where it's supposed to? Nope, it has walked away. Hey, little runaway. Let's see this one. Nope. Let's try this one. Nope. How about this one? It's really hard to train these animals. There we go. Look at that. Do you see that shiny liquid? Now I gotta wipe my hand off so it's not dirty. If I wipe that, what color is that on my finger? Can you see that? It's yellow. And if you were here, guess what? I would ask you to smell the millipede. Look at that. So this millipede, I'm gonna smell it. Woo! It's stinky. It lets out this yellow liquid to smell and taste bad. Now, I'm gonna leave this on my finger because it's gonna turn my finger purple. By the time we're done, my finger is gonna be purple. Look at all that stuff. Yummy. Why would it want to smell and taste bad, my friends? So it does not get eaten for dinner. All right, what's next? How about a centipede? So centipedes and millipedes are very different, and we're gonna talk about why or how they are different. So let me get this under here. This is a giant desert centipede, and they can be found in the deserts of the United States. Come over here, my friend. I just want you to hang out. Can we hang out? He's hiding under his egg. That was his Easter present. Her, it's a female. So these guys are centipedes. These are very big. This was found in the desert in Arizona. And you notice that it has a head, and then the whole rest of the body is called its trunk. So it, like a millipede, only has 2 body parts. Okay, I'm gonna have to take your block of wood out of there, buddy. Oh, come on. It's being camera shy today. So a head, and then the whole rest of the body is the trunk. Well, guess what? The millipede also, the head and the whole rest of the body is the trunk. So 2 body parts. If you look at the centipede, do you see that its body is also made up of segments, just like a millipede? But for each one of those segments, how many legs does the centipede have? 2. It only has 2 legs per segment. How many did the millipede have? 4. Millipede had 4 legs per segment. Also, a centipede, my friends, is a predator. It hunts and eats live animals. What did the millipede eat? The millipede eats dead, rotting stuff. So it makes vitamins for the earth. And also, come here, I want to show them your fangs. A centipede is venomous. You see up here by its head, it's got these 2 black things that go along its head, right here and right here. So those are called venom claws. They inject venom into their prey. They're actually legs that have been modified or changed into those venom claws. So centipedes and millipedes are very different. Now, if this centipede bit me, it would hurt really, really bad. But the centipedes we have in Iowa, if they bite you, they don't really hurt that bad. My son, my 5-year-old, he got bitten by a garden centipede the other day that was about 1 inch long. And he says, "Oh, Mom, it bit me." And I said, "But does it hurt?" He said, "No." So we were good. Here, we might get a good close-up of his little venom claws. You see right there? There's one there. And then also one right there. She's cleaning her antennae right now. Very, very clean animals. All right, so that was the difference between a millipede and a centipede. Here you go, Agua. That's her name, Agua, because she loves water. She curls up in her water dish all the time. So we're going to put her away. And then we're going to look at a tarantula. You ready for the tarantula? I am. So first we're going to look at this gorgeous tarantula right here. Actually, we're going to do this other one. Let me get out this tarantula. Find a good pretty, ooh, yes. You are beautiful. Yes. Please don't run away and hide. Please don't hide, because she's out right now. I want her to stay out, because gosh, she is so beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, don't be scared. Okay, here we go. We're turning. Check out this tarantula. Do you see the bright blue colors on her legs? This is a Goody sapphire ornamental tarantula. These tarantulas are found in Sri Lanka, which is near India, very, very, very far away from Iowa, very far away from the United States. And we did talk about this tarantula in our arboreal tarantula video that is on our Facebook page and on YouTube and on our website if you want to check it out. So this tarantula, look how big and beautiful she is. Big, bright colors. What do bright colors mean on an animal? Danger. Do not touch me. I am dangerous. Now these tarantulas are in a group called Polyciatheria. And those are the most venomous tarantulas on our planet. Can you die from a tarantula bite? No, you cannot die from a tarantula bite. But if this tarantula bit, or these species of tarantulas bit, it would hurt really, really bad. And it could make you pretty sick, like muscle aches, pain all over your body, throwing up, a high fever. It could be pretty gruesome. And those symptoms could last for up to 2 weeks. So, would you touch this tarantula? No way. But that's kind of scary, isn't it? It is. And because it's scary, humans are afraid of these tarantulas. So guess what they do when they see them? They kill them. Not only that, but these tarantulas are arboreal tarantulas, which means they live up in trees. And what is happening to the trees all over the world? They're getting cut down. So when these animals lose their homes, where do they go? What is the next tall place if your tree is cut down that you might move into? A human structure, like a human building or a human house. And remember, people are afraid of these tarantulas, and when they see them, what do they do to them? They kill them. Just one of them? No, all of them. This tarantula is an endangered species. What does endangered mean? It means that they are at risk of going extinct. And extinct means no more, like the dodo or the dinosaur. There are no more. They went extinct. Now, the thing is that the dinosaurs went extinct not because of humans. We weren't around. But these guys, they're going extinct because of humans. Because humans are afraid of them, and because they're cutting down their trees that they live in. These animals will someday be extinct in the wild. Let me see if I can get a good picture of her here. It's very sad. You can see the blue on her legs. Goody sapphire ornamental tarantula. You see all that white stuff all over? That's her poop. That's her frass. All right. I'm going to put her away quick. Good job. Thank you very much for staying out for that. Those tarantulas like to hide, so the fact that she was out like that for us is pretty awesome. Now, I do have one more very special tarantula I want to show you. And that is Rosie, our Chilean rose-hair tarantulas. Now, I know we just got done talking about how venomous that last tarantula is, but not all tarantulas are like that. This tarantula right here, if she was to bite me, which she never would be like a bee sting. That's what it would feel like. So Rosie is super nice, and when we do in-person programming, we let people touch her. Right back here, and she is so soft and fuzzy. It looks like she might be hard and prickly, pokey, but she's not. She's soft and fuzzy. And they have 8 legs. They are an arachnid, and they have 2 body parts. But they have an exoskeleton, just like an insect. So they are a cousin of an insect. And tarantulas do have web, but they don't use their web to catch their food. They use it to line the holes or the burrows in the ground that they live in, make little beds that they molt on or help them to mate with. So tarantulas are super cool. And they do have fangs. They have venom. They have to have that venom. That's how they eat. They can only eat liquid diets, so they bite their prey with the fangs and inject venom into them, and then it turns it to liquid from the inside out, which is super cool. They have little eyes right up here. She's covering her eyes. She's being shy. She's kind of camera shy. Now, if you were here with me right now, I would let you touch Rosie, but since we are virtual, we can't. So instead, let's look at her little tarantula feet and her little tarantula toes. She's got 2 little claws on the end of her toes, and those are like a cat. Look, see, she can bring them in and put them out just like a cat can. That helps her walk across her web and even dig the burrows that she might want to dig to live in. Very cool. Okay, goodbye, Rosie. All right, I'm gonna turn this camera around. You get to see my face. Hello again. Oh boy, that was so much fun, don't you think? So that is everything that I have to share with you today. But before I go, I do just want to ask you a favor. Now, I love bugs. Like, I really, really love bugs. In fact, my license plate says Bug Lady. That's how much I love bugs. I love bugs like you would love your dog. That's how much. Now, I'm not asking that you love bugs as much as I do, but what I am asking is that when you see a bug, should you step on it? No. These are living creatures. They help our earth. They are supposed to be here. And now, whose job is it to help take care of them? It's our job. It is our job to take care of these bugs. They're so important for our planet. And without them, boy, I don't even know what we would do without them. So today I am asking for your help. I am asking for you to help me take care of bugs. Do you think you can do that? It is really easy. You can start by not stepping on bugs when you see them. And then do all the things that we do for our earth already to make it healthy. Recycle, reduce, reuse, plant good plants for bugs. If you need some suggestions for a pollinator garden, Ryman Gardens has a great website for that. If you need more help, you can always send me a message or email me, zoo@iastate.edu. So my friends, if you could just help out the bugs and help me take care of them so we can take care of our earth, that would be super. All right, my friends, that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and go forth and love the bugs.